Welcome back to the show where we give you all the Dolphins news you need to know about. Another great week for the Miami Dolphins. Another win. Feels real good, man. It feels real nice. Obviously going 3-0 for the first time since 2013, but this team's a lot different, and we're going to get into why that is and why, why they are so much different in my opinion. It's not even close. So this first news story, obviously the Miami Dolphins get the win on Sunday, 28-20 over the Oakland Raiders, and they were fighting everybody in this game. They were fighting the Raiders. They were fighting the Raiders refs that were dressed in Raiders uniforms, as far as I'm concerned, because they had a huge effect on this game. I mean, literally, they could have affected the outcome if we didn't win this game, in my opinion. Because I have never been, I've been upset at games before. But in terms of just feeling like we're getting, robbed, never really felt like that as bad as I did on Sunday. Alright, so before we get into that, and before I rant about that, let's get into the box score. So obviously we finished the game, won the game 28-20. Let's start with the defense. Let's start with the secondary. Which did not have a good day, in my opinion. I mean, they finished the day well, but overall, really not that great, for a lot of different reasons. So let's start with Derek Carr's stats. He completed 27 passes. He attempted 39 of those. So 39 attempts, 27 completions. Yards, he had 345. He had 1 touchdown with 2 interceptions. Both, or the last one was really costly. Receiving. Jordy Nelson, 6 catches, 173 yards, averaged almost 30 yards a catch. You guys don't have to clean out your ears. This man averaged almost 30 yards a catch, and he had 1 touchdown on the day. Jalen Richard, who is a running back, so that's a good sign. I mean, the second leading receiver is a running back, it's not too bad. 6 catches for 59 yards, averaged 9. Almost 10 yards a catch. Jared Cook, 5 catches for 31 yards. That's the player I was probably most worried about. Him and Cooper, for sure. Martavis Bryant, 2 catches for 30 yards, averaged 15 a catch. Both catches, huge first downs. Marshawn Lynch, 3 catches for 22 yards. Most of those were run after the catch. Amari Cooper, 2 snags for 17, average 8 a catch. Dwayne Harris, 2 catches for 11, and then Keith Smith, 1 catch for a first down, which was pretty crucial, for 2 yards. Averaged 2 a catch. So, Cooper, who I forgot was on the team when we played them, and I'm not, trying to talk, I don't know, what am I even saying right now? The point is Cooper really didn't affect the game all that much, which is pretty crazy. He's a really talented player. Jordy Nelson, I guess, okay, so let's get into this. I mean, going into this game, you look at Martavis Bryant, you look at Jordy Nelson, you look at Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, Derek Carr, former MVP candidate, pretty dang good quarterback, in my opinion. I despite what all the hate that the Raiders are getting, they're a good football team, and they'll be fine for the rest of the season. Trust me, they'll be just fine. That team's not a bad team. They have a lot of deficiencies on defense, but if they ever got that fixed, this team's one of the best teams in the AFC, in my opinion. They're a really well-coached team as well. But offensively, if you think about it, you have more, again, like I just said, you got beast mode in the backfield. You got a really good interior on the offensive line, Clutch Osimile, Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson at the center position. That's pretty dang good. That's as good as it gets. And they're actually running a really, really good running scheme this year that fits that offensive line, as opposed to last year where they kind of spread the ball out way too much and ran it way too much out of the gun. This year, they're obviously a lot of one receiver, 3 tight end sets. Which makes them a better football team. So you have to deal with that running game, and they can beat you downfield with Martavis Bryant and Mario Cooper, who are both really good deep threats in the National Football League. And Jared Cook, who's a really, really good seam threat as well. So that's a difficult team to guard. In terms of how we defended their secondary, which I'm going off on a tangent, need to focus here. I mean, the busted coverages in the first quarter were absolutely ridiculous. We're lucky the second one that got them first and goal. We got them off the field. Minkah Fitzpatrick, although I would have to go back and look at these plays to really give you a, because it's been a minute since I've seen them. But from what I remember, they were busted coverages, and a lot of it was on Minka, if I can remember correctly. I could be wrong about that, but I mean, they literally just ran up the seam, and nobody was there. It was obviously miscommunication, or had to have been a miscommunication. Busted coverage. Obviously, Rashad Jones wasn't playing, so that obviously had a huge impact on this game in a lot of different areas. So, despite Minka messing up a lot in that first quarter, if it wasn't for him making that tackle on Jordy Nelson, we probably don't win that football game. So, he made, other than that, he made some big plays down the stretch of this game. So, the secondary really didn't have a great day, I would say. I felt like there was a lot of times the 3rd and 14, you can't let that happen. Okay, he catches it behind the sticks. Okay, well, just tackle him. There are 3 Dolphins there. 1 Martavis Bryant. Get him on the ground. You cannot let that happen. Unfortunately on that play, Bobby McCain walked up behind Robert Quinn, and I don't know what he had to tell him that was so important on a 3rd and 14. Because Robert Quinn, not in coverage, right? So I don't know what Bobby McCain's telling Robert Quinn, unless he thought it was a screen. But that really jacked up the pass rush, because if Robert could have just gotten off the ball instead of literally talking to Bobby McCain as the ball is being snapped, then, that might have had a different outcome on that play. But regardless, you can't let him catch a 3rd and 14, behind the sticks and let him get that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Torrey McTyer dropped a pick 6, even though this was his first career start in Nashville football. I think so. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure this was his first start, and he did a tremendous job. Other than the drop pick 6, did a pretty decent, or not even decent, really good job. So it was really encouraging to see that, by the way, because he's played really well in practice, and to see him actually do that on the main, and he should have had a pick 6, man, but he dropped it. And that's why you play cornerback, Torrey. That's why you play cornerback. But yeah. So overall, the day was okay. Obviously, the secondary with the huge interception. We were up 21-17 at the time. Xavier Howard somehow picked off that ball. I do not know how. Not only was that a sexy interception, but that was textbook technique. He boxed him out, so he had no room, unless he somehow, which obviously Xavier, great, has a tremendous athlete, he couldn't have even jumped over him because he boxed him out so bad he was basically out of bounds, that's just perfect technique for the route that he was running on that play. He was running a fade route. I could not. What a play by Xavier Howard. Obviously, he had 2 interceptions this game. Straight up lockdown corner. One of the best in the National Football League right now. I think Pro Football Focus has him ranked top 5 at this very moment. So, just a beast. I don't know how to really grade this performance for the secondary. I guess it's so really. It's okay. I would say it's okay. And really for the defense overall as a unit, it was okay. They had to deal with a lot of injuries, obviously, so that really hurt them. But they did start this game off terrible. So, terrible. I would say it was an okay day for the defense. Because there's a lot of long drives, a lot of 3rd down conversions. We could not win the battle on 1st down, and a lot of that had to do with the defensive line, and that's what we're going to get into right now. In terms of the running game, let's see if I can. I got to get these numbers here. Okay, so rushing, Marshawn Lynch finished with 19 carries, 64 yards, 3 yards. He averaged 3 yards a touch with 1 touchdown. Doug Martin, 9 carries for 43. He averaged 4.8, almost averaged 5 yards a touch. Martavis Bryant, 1 carry for 4 yards. Derek Carr, 2 carries for -2 yards. Keith Smith, 1 carry for nothing. And you might, when I read you that, you're like, well, I just said that they didn't have that great of a day. This is one of those times that you can't look at this stat. If you watch the game, especially in that second half when everybody started getting tired, they were killing us on 1st down. Every time it seemed like they were either getting 4 or 5 yards a carry. And all of that was Marshawn Lynch, man. He just wears you out as a defense. And there's a reason he's one of the greatest power backs in NFL history, and he still has, man. And it was so... they converted almost every... They had 3rd and manageable every single time. And it was really tough on our defense, man. So, yeah, they did a good job running the football. And, dude, they took 9 minutes. 9. out of the third quarter. They almost sucked the entire almost the entire second half. Well, not the second half, but almost the entire third quarter. We're lucky that our offense is so dang explosive and can score a touchdown at the drop of a hat, because that is almost... And they finished that drive with a touchdown. That's almost a kill shot. That is such a ridiculous drive. It's not... 9 minutes, guys, in the National Football League. That only happens, like, maybe 5 times a year. Maybe. That is such a ridiculous drive. So yeah, the defense had an okay day, or so. TJ, like I just said, Torrey dropped a pick 6. TJ McDonald dropped one of the easiest game-winning interceptions in NFL history. I mean, literally was thrown right to him. Great pressure on that play. Derek Carr, he was trying to do way too much on that play. Didn't want to take the sack and threw it right to TJ McDonald. Robert Quinn was right on him. Great play by the defense there, but we just couldn't finish it. And Bruce Arians, who's commentating the game, which is awesome that he's a commentator now, was talking about how anytime that happens, especially to win a game, it never ends well for your football team. Luckily, Xavier Howard is just, just chiseled out of marble and got that interception to really make up for that play. So, thank God. God bless number 25. Seriously. What a play that was from a technique standpoint. I mean, that was just textbook cornerback play. So yeah, it was an okay day on defense. You want a little bit better, but the offense stepped up, especially in that second half, and got the ball rolling. There was a couple times there where the defense, I think, I don't know, in that first half, I don't know it was towards the end of the second half where the defense got a couple stops there, and the offense should have done something. They eventually did with the, and that's what we're going to transition into right now, the passing game. I want to start with the running game because that was terrible. We didn't get to the linebackers for us. I felt like the linebackers played pretty dang good, actually. Even though we were getting killed in the trenches, there were a couple of things that, Kiko did well. Jerome Baker was in a couple plays. Raekwon McMillan. Where's the stats, dude? Again, it was a so-so day. We'll just move on to the offense. Vincent Taylor played well when he was Jerome Baker finished with 7 tackles. So did Kiko. Bobby McCain coming in with 5 tackles at his size. Mika Fitzpatrick coming in with 8 assist tackles and 2 tackles. So again, just a so-so day on defense. But transitioning into the offense, we'll start with the running game because it was super disappointing. Ryan Tannehill led the team in rushing yards with 26. He had 3 carries. He averaged 8.7 yards an attempt. Frank Gore had 6 carries for 12 yards. He averaged 2 yards a carry. 5 carries for 3 yards. As I'm reading this, we didn't run the game. We didn't run the ball. It seemed like we ran the ball way more than we did. That is crazy, dude. 6 carries for Frank and 5 for Kenyon. That's weird, dude. Even though every time they touched the ball, it was either it was a loss or it was stuffed. So maybe that, but we didn't have the ball. I mean, they were sucking so much time out of the clock. So I guess it makes, down 10 points. We really didn't have a lot of time to run the football. As for the passing attack, Ryan Tannehill finished with 17 completions for 23 yards, 289 yards total, 3 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Albert Wilson 1 for 1 for a 52-yarder and a touchdown. Receiving yards for the squad, Albert finished with 2 catches for 74 yards, averaged 37 yards a catch, holy God, and 1 touchdown. Jakeem Grant, 2 catches for 70 yards, averaged 35 yards a catch with 2 touchdowns. Kenny Stills, 3 catches for 61 yards, averaged 20 yards a catch for 1 touchdown. Danny Amendola, 3 catches for 42 yards for 14 yards a catch. Devontae Parker, 22 catches for 40 yards, 20 yards a catch. Mike Gesicki, 3 catches for 31 yards for 10 yards a catch. AJ Derby, 1 catch for 16 yards a catch. Kenyon Drake, 2 catches for 7 yards, 3.5 yards a catch. The passing game saved this game, obviously. I mean, And to be honest with you, I'm okay with not running the football at all. And I actually was going to come in here and complain about how Adam Gase should have abandoned the running game, and he kind of did actually. But he should have. I mean, they could not. Every time we passed the ball, I would say most of the time, for sure, it was something positive. It was something positive. Every time they got pressure or even attempted to get pressure was because they had to blitz, and they had to blitz a lot of people. And we did a great job of picking it up. Obviously, on that touchdown, they blitzed, and we picked it up and, hit the deep corner out for the touchdown. Perfect throw by Ryan Tannehill. Everybody who says my dude can't make the tough throws, you're an idiot. As far as I'm concerned, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I could show 5 throws in his career that would rival just about anybody. And I'm not even joking. Okay? I'm not even joking. So, he was getting hit, by the way, and just a perfect throw, dude. Pressure right in his face. Not many quarterbacks can do that. My dude just hit it, and I love him for it. Great catch by Kenny Stills to get his feet in there. In terms of some criticism, so we already went through the stats. So, it was a really good game. He finished with 155 passer rating. Ryan Tannehill, probably his best game so far this season. But I don't know. In terms of some criticisms, he missed a touchdown to Kenny Stills, barely. And it was it was a tough throw, but it was on a little double move post. He hit that exact same play against the Cardinals in 2016, the exact same play, but there was a little bit less room there. Just barely overthrew him. I don't know if we came out with points on that drive, and there was a throw to who was it? I think it was Kenny Stills or I can't remember if it was DP or not. But it was Gary. I can tell you this: Gary and Conley deflected it. That throw was a little underthrown. He should have thrown it a little bit earlier, probably, and gotten it out in front of the receiver, so he could have at least ran under it. And there should have been no chance for an interception on that play. But other than that, and the only reason I say that because I sound like such an idiot for even criticizing him for those two things. I sound so petty right there. But the only reason I did that is because I don't want to constantly sound like Ryan does everything perfect. So I was just trying to come up with, he did two things, I guess, which happens every, game. Anyway, who cares? He had a really good game. He completed 17 of 23 passes for 289 yards for 3 touchdowns. And he was the reason we got back into the game, because he made 2 big throws, one to Danny Amendola, and then obviously the deep ball to Devontae Parker that really got the squad going. And he got us back in that game, so as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen. So the passing game was perfect. We got to talk about the trick plays. The shovel pass to Jakeem Grant, awesome play, well blocked. Jakeem, he's, somebody, you guys as a community, the Dolphins community, were constantly asking me, can Jakeem be like Tyreek Hill? And he's playing like him right now. He's playing like him. He just makes plays every time he touches the football. Same thing with Albert Wilson. Makes plays every time he touches the football, but great blocking on that play to obviously make it 14-17. Huge play right there. Albert Wilson, obviously the trick play to... Wait, was it? Yeah, that was, to make it 14-17. The trick play to Albert Wilson on the old school play, the double pass there to Jakeem Grant. Beautiful play, man. I lost everything. Everything was lost at that point. That made it 21-17. And then obviously to finish off the day, do another same kind of play, the same play to Jakeem Grant, just a little bit different. Albert Wilson, which at the time, all I was saying was, dude, we haven't been able to run the football the entire day. If there was ever a time that we needed to do it, it was now. And perfect blocking on that play. And Albert Wilson just outran the entire Raiders defense. And then obviously met Jakeem at the end of that play and high-fived him. So a great day for the passing game. Huge plays deep down the field. We really couldn't get anything going in the screen game. They had a really good game plan for that. But every time, dude, and again, that was the weakness of that defense. They don't really have a pass rush right now. If the only way they really can bring pressure is through blitzing. So yeah. So I thought the passing game was really nice, and obviously the running game was non-existent. So offensively, overall, great day in my opinion, especially in the passing game. Again, the plays that really sparked us was those throws, because as soon as As soon as Tannehill hit that deep throw to DP, I knew it was on. Because I don't want to get on a rant because we have news stories to do and we have fan Q&A. And I'm trying to answer every question this week. Because you guys came through last week and I failed you. And that is on me. Okay? That's on me. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Those throws, man. Those were... And if you go back and watch that throw to Devontae, what a throw that was, dude. But yeah, that's what really got us back into the game. And at that point, I was like, yeah. Because, to be honest with you, they couldn't stop us unless the refs interfered. And I don't want to get on a huge tangent on this, but you have got to be kidding me, dude. Where do I even begin? Some of the penalties that were thrown. Okay, so the drive before the half ended. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we would have gotten ball at half. I think the score was 10-7 at that point, right? We would have gotten ball, so we could have double dipped the chip, which would have been we would have done. By the way, Tannehill was throwing hot dots straight up out of Krispy Kreme. Okay, these were straight up hot ones. They could not stop him at all, and he probably would have had 400 yards, 300 yards, definitely 300 yards if none of this happened. By the way, might have finished with 4 or 5 touchdowns. We don't know because the refs suck. So there was a nice little I don't know, it was a little Texas route, whatever you want to call it. Frank Gore coming out of the backfield, huge play, first down. I think that was on 3rd down. Before that, we got a first down on another route that I can't even remember. Both pass interference calls. Tannehill, not a confrontational person. I wish I was there to take those questions when they asked him about those plays. He says, I don't even know what happened on those plays. They weren't even pick plays. In no world, I don't even care. No. I think the holding was a holding call on the second one. What the heck was that? Right? Maybe that was even a different play. Dude, there were so many penalties in this. I can't even keep... But anyway, to focus on... There were 2, I know for a fact. I think there were 3 pass interference calls offensively. There was one right before half, and then the next drive, there was pass interference. That was a first down to Albert Wilson. That was going to get us going. Now, listen. Some of that is on Adam Gase. Well, none of it is on Adam Gase, excuse me, because he called a perfect game. But he needs to listen. This offense is super explosive. Tannehill, really good quarterback. Bruce Arians was talking about it when he was commentating. Don't know why we were trying to run the football and play super conservative on some of those down and distances. We should just go after it. I mean, dude, we're already getting cheated. Let's just try to get it all back, dude. I don't care what happens after a 1st and 20. If we take a sack, who cares, dude? I'd rather do that than run a screen, get tackled, a 2-yard gain up the middle. That's not going to get a 20. That's not going to get us 20 yards back in 3 plays. It's not going to happen. So, but it wasn't even. We wouldn't even be in that situation if the refs were better. Dude, that was the most frustrating. I can't even begin to tell you guys because it killed momentum. We're getting first downs. They're calling them back on a consistent basis, by the way. Dude, those were such ticky-tacky calls. And the Hakeem Spence throw, when he got thrown out of the game, first of all, I know his hand got caught in the helmet. Maybe it was an accident. Your hand shouldn't be anywhere near another player's head, regardless, whether he punched him or not. I mean, he's an idiot for doing that. Don't care how it happened. Unless, there's not even an unless. And first of all, huge first down. Another penalty that helped the Raiders out. And then, obviously, I think that was the drive that ended up taking all that time off the clock. But that was a 3rd down. Cameron got a sack. That's a whole nother situation, dude. That's on Hakeem Spence. Keep your hands to yourself. Walk back to the other sideline. We just got a sack. I don't care what he's saying. If he pushed you in the back, let the refs handle it. I don't care what he's saying to you. This is what happens when you get a sack. I've never understood this for a defense. You just made a great play, okay? Why would you want to take that away from your team to get some anger out? That makes no sense. Just walk the other way. It never has made, as an offense, let's say first of all, the refs are super lenient when it comes to this. As an offense, when your quarterback gets smacked or something like that and they get hit, or you can't even really do that anymore, but whatever happens, a big hit, whatever, and the offense goes to, hey, don't crap and lay your hands on my quarterback, refs don't say anything or do anything about that, which is so weird, which I'm fine with. I like that. I think it's cool team, and it's not even malicious or anything. It's just a little check, a little shoulder check. Nothing wrong with that. I'm getting off another tangent right now. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Just by saying this. What are you doing? What are you doing? If I was Adam, I could not deal with something as stupid as that, dude. Even if it was a bad call, get out of there. No confrontation, dude. Walk away. Walk away. You just sacked their quarterback. You just made a huge play. By the way, that was in the first half. Now that I'm remembering that was not in the second half. I think that still resulted in some kind of points, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe that was in the second half. I can't remember. But you know what I'm saying, guys. I mean, that's just ridiculous, dude. This kind of stuff makes me want to punch my TV. That's when I get upset, is when stupid stuff like that happens. There's no reason for you to do that. And again, like I said, regardless if he did anything wrong on that play or not, I can't remember. Because I remember watching it and be like, why was the flag thrown? But then, you know, his hand was stuck in his helmet. Your hand should be nowhere near the helmet. You should be walking to the sideline with your team. Celebrate with your team. I don't care if Kelechi Osemele, first of all, he did hit him in the back. If I can remember, he did something stupid to him. So yeah, that was a whole rigmarole and just unfortunate. So we're going to get through these news. Well, we're not going to run through them, but time for the news, everybody. Wish we had a little transition, but we don't. This is like the most, you know, dude, we're running on like Cheez-Its and crackers that are on the floor, dude. That's what this show is. You never want to eat a Cheez-It off the ground. This next news story comes from NBC Talk or something like that. Sports Talk, excuse me. Dolphins defensive end Andre Branch suffers knee injury. Sunday was a tough day for the Dolphins defense, which has another hole to fill up front. According to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, defensive end Andre Branch will miss some time after suffering a knee injury against the Raiders. Branch is expected to miss a few weeks, which is much better news than what they got in William Hayes earlier today. Hayes suffered a torn ACL during the win, leaving the Dolphins thin on the line. This is terrible news for us, dude. We had such a good thing. And all those people out there, and you know what? I get it, but Adam Gase had a perfect explanation for why we had so many D linemen. He was like, in this kind of weather where it's like a sauna, it almost requires you to have that many defensive linemen to stay fresh throughout the game. And you saw why we have so many defensive linemen on Sunday, dude. But yeah, this is a crusher, dude. William Hayes, great defensive player, one of the best in the National Football League at setting the edge. It sucks, dude. This is terrible. Andre Branch, obviously a really good rotational player. And this is a huge... I don't know what we're going to do, man. I have no idea. Because that completely destroys our whole game plan going into this season. Charles Harris is going to have to step up. That's all I got to say. And, like, who are we going to rotate with? This one's tough, guys. Did we still keep the kid from Houston? I can never... Cameron Malvo, however you say his name, I can't remember. Because he's a decent player. Those are tough injuries. This next question comes. This is basically, you know, highlighting how good Minkah Fitzpatrick is. We don't need to know. We know Minkah Fitzpatrick is a beast. Again, even though he messed up, he came back really well. And if it wasn't for him making that tackle with Jordy Nelson, most people give up on that play, by the way. But my dude's got heart. This is a report card from Finn. I don't even know if we want to read this. Do we want to read this? We'll read this. This is from Dolphins Wire. He just grades everybody. So he grades the quarterback. He gave an A. Ryan Tannehill threw for 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, and finished with a completion percentage of 73.9. Sunday was definitely the best performance Tannehill has had since returning from the 21-month absence. He is playing exactly what the Dolphins want him to do, well, being efficient. Running backs, D. Wide receivers, tight ends, B. I'd give them an A. Offensive line, A. Yes, they gave Tannehill a lot of time, but they're going against not the greatest pass rush in the world. So there you go. Quick news story that comes from Dolphins Wire. If you want to read the entire thing, you can go there and check that out. Now, this is interesting. This is what I wanted to get to. This is probably the best news story of the day. Let's see, what other news stories I got on here? Let's see if I can clear some things up. Okay, so yeah, we'll get to those here in a second. So Miami's 3-0 start. The Miami Dolphins are 3-0 for the first time. This comes from Dolphins Wire, by the way. The Miami Dolphins are 3-0 for the first time since 2013. During that season, the Dolphins strung together 3 wins, but were brought back to down to earth in their 4th game when they lost to the Saints 38-17. They would go on to lose 7 of their last 12 games, finishing 8-8, missing the playoffs entirely. This season has some kind of feel. The Dolphins are 3-0 and go on the road to play the Patriots in Week 4. It sounds familiar, but the difference is the Saints were a hot team in 2013, and the Patriots aren't playing as well. It's worth noting that the Dolphins have not won in Foxborough since 2008. Looking over the numbers during the 3-game win streaks from each season, some are much improved over 2013, but some are very similar. Let's take a look at the numbers. Ryan Tannehill in 2013, Ryan Tannehill completed 71 out of 107 passes. He finished with a respectable 63.3 completion rate, but only averaged 7.7 yards per attempt. He did manage to pass for 827 yards and 4 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. How do the numbers compare for this year? So far this season, Tannehill has only thrown 74 passes, but has completed 54 of them. That gives him a fantastic completion percentage of 72.9. He has thrown it for fewer yards, 687, but he's also thrown for 7 touchdowns against 2 picks. Overall, Tannehill in 2018 is more efficient and a better quarterback. That's where the article ends. I don't know if it continues or not, but that's an interesting way to end an article. Yeah, it continues. So if you guys want to continue to read, you can go to Dolphins Wire. It's a really good article comparing the two teams. I don't want to go on a rant about this, but I could, because we're getting kind of long on the tooth. Not really. I guess we could talk about this for a minute. Now, my memory is god-awful. It's terrible, guys. It's terrible. It's really bad. But the point is probably not going to be remembered. Okay. Starting to come. I know I can tell you all of Tannehill's career stats, by the way. In 2013, and I'm not even looking at anything. He had 24 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. His rookie year, he had 12 touchdowns. Ooh, this one's going to be weird, guys. You might have gotten me. I think he had 12 interceptions for 11 touchdowns, but he threw more picks than he did to have touchdowns. I can tell you that. We're gonna stop right there because we could go on and on with this. But the point is, I guess the point was I don't have a good memory. Anyway, the point is the first 3 games, if I can remember correctly, we beat the Browns. We looked okay in that game. We didn't look like any. I mean, Tannehill made 2 really weird interceptions, not great. But yeah, we beat the Browns. Week 2, we beat the Falcons. Week 3, who did we beat? Who the heck did we beat in Week 3, dude? Maybe that was the Falcons. In Week 2, we beat somebody else. Hang on, guys. You know what? I don't know if I should cut here or do we just keep going. But yeah, dude, I cannot remember. Who did we beat in that? Dude, I'm going to get... I know the Falcons game I remember because that Tannehill came back and had the game-winning drive. And obviously the Browns game I remember because that was Tannehill's first game in his second year. Third, what the heck did we do? Let's see here. Yeah, all right. Okay, hang on a sec. Sorry, guys. Oh, we beat the Colts in Week 2. Okay, I remember this game. And then Week 3, beat the Falcons. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, the Falcons were a very bad team that year, and the Colts, pretty good team. The Browns, obviously not good. The only thing I can just go off memory. I don't even know why I looked this up. Yeah, so that's who we beat. So to compare that to, we beat the Titans, pretty dang good team, who have beaten the Texans and the Jaguars. 2 very good wins. Week 2, we beat the we beat the Jets, who have a very good defense, but with a rookie quarterback. So yeah, there you go. And then obviously we just beat the Raiders, who are a well-coached team. Just haven't been able to put it together. But that team's pretty good. They're going to be fine. They're going to win a lot of games this year, in my opinion. They're a good team. To comparing that to the only thing I can really give you guys is just going off of, again, memory terrible. The defense nowhere near as talented. The secondary is much better than that secondary was when you think about it. We had players like Jimmy Wilson. Rashad Jones was there. The outside was nowhere near as good. We had Brent Grimes. I can't remember who was playing opposite him. I'm trying to remember really hard. Can't do that. But yeah, the secondary nowhere near as good. The defensive line and linebackers nowhere near as good. Darnell Ellerby was on that team. Cameron Wake, OV was there. Randy Starks, maybe? Paul Soliai was still on the team at the time. I can't remember. Yeah, so the defense nowhere near as talented. The coaching, not even close. Coaching is way better on this team. Adam Gase is a way better coach than Joe Philbin, and that's not even close. Tannehill is a much better quarterback than he was back then, obviously. He threw 17 interceptions that season. He's not even going to get close to that this year. We just have a better overall team. We're coached better. Everything's just better. The offense, here's where the biggest difference. The offense is way more explosive. The offensive line, god dang it. Now it's coming back to me. In 2013, we had one of the worst offensive lines in Dolphins history. Tannehill got hit a record amount of times that year. It was terrible. It was like Russell Wilson now. Or Russell Wilson in 2017. That's how bad the offensive line was. Okay? With a second-year quarterback, by the way, who did his best to get out of that season alive. And the offense was terrible. Devon Best was gone, I'm pretty sure at that point. Maybe I'm wrong. So we had Brian Hartline, Mike Wallace, Charles Clay. Those were our three best weapons on the outside. Nowhere near as explosive or as good as the talent that we have on the team at this point. The offensive line, God, not even close. We had players like Darren College. We had Jonathan Martin. I want to throw up in my mouth. Don't even remember who the left tackle was at that point. So yeah, it was terrible. The offensive line was god awful that year. So bad. So yeah, there's a huge difference between this team and that team. Not even close. By the way, you could tell the offensive line was terrible in those first 3 games. Tannehill got hit a lot that year, dude. A ton. Not even close. Quarterback's better. Offensive line's better. The running back stable's better. We have Frank Gore and Kenyon Drake. We had, I think, Daniel Thomas and Lamar Miller. Not even close to what we have now, right? So, yeah, it's just a completely different... the offense is just way better. And the defense is too. So yeah, that's going to be it for news stories. The other one's introducing Xavier Howard, the lockdown hero, lockdown corner, ESPN. You can go read that. Keem Spence, an idiot for hitting somebody in the head. Don't know if he did. Doesn't matter. Keep your hands away from somebody's helmet. And shut up and just walk to the sideline. Sports Illustrated, how the Dolphins are 3-0 and how they're making it work. Rosen, latest rookie starting quarterback, more news. Sports Illustrated. So those were the news stories that were left. We're going to move on from that. So yeah, I guess that was the big topic for this week. It's just me talking about the 2013 season, really just getting lost. Should have been better prepared for that. Stuff kind of just came back to me. Yeah, but that team is night and day, guys. If you guys remember 2013, it was obviously we got off to that good start, but then after that, it was just like, good God. Because we should have beat the Jets, didn't. Geno Smith-led Jets, we would have actually been in the playoffs. If we did do that. I do remember that game. That broke my heart, dude. That broke my heart into 1,000 pieces. So yeah. So we got to get into the fan Q&A. But yeah, again, that offensive line was god-awful. I forgot that was the season. 2013, dude, good lord. Yeah, so let's get into the fan Q&A. Don't know why I'm talking like that. I have no idea why I do that. It's so weird. So weird. So yeah, let's get into the fan Q&A, as a normal person would say it. I have one question to ask you guys. Is anybody else just, bewildered? And that's the only word I can really describe how Monday Night Football is being commentated. It is the guy who is the play-by-play guy, way too animated after every play, dude. It's just weird. Anyway, let's get into the fan questions. Again, this is where fans ask me questions and I answer them. Obviously, fan Q&A. If you want to be a part of that, subscribe to the channel where you can, and then you'll get a little video each and every single week where you can ask questions. Anyway, if anybody, I mean, God, we're what, you're 40 minutes into this. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. 40 minutes in, and dude, if you trust me, as a person who can't find enough things to listen to on a day-by-day basis to make the time go by, I don't know. Hopefully this show is good at that at least. Let's, for the love of God, get into the fan Q&A. Okay, so this first question comes from Corporate Gamer Incorporated, I think. He asks, how can we beat the Patriots offensively and defensively? Offensively, we got to beat man-to-man, and that is something the Patriots are struggling with mightily. They just do not have the personnel to play man-to-man, in my opinion. Other than Stephon Gilmore, everybody else is, other than Devin McCourty and Stephon Gilmore, everybody else is okay. Patrick Chung's a good box safety against the run, not the greatest in man coverage. Eric Rowe is super inconsistent. The pass rush for them is not good at all. Their linebackers are slow. Other than Elandon Roberts, Kyle Van Noy is Dante Hightower is probably so far this season having his worst year. So we just, from an offensive standpoint, you just got to beat them man to man. So really, the receivers just have to do a good job of that. Thankfully, we have a super explosive offense, so it's gonna be very hard to do that for Bill Belichick, especially against us, because we have a lot of people that can beat you deep, and man to man, it's gonna be tough to do because we have so many playmakers. So how we beat them offensively, you just got to beat the guy out who's in front of you, because that's really what it is. You just got to beat the guy who's in front of you. And you're going to have, hopefully, our offensive line plays well. Defensively, this is how they're winning a lot of games for the last 2 years, really. They've been scoring a lot of points. Defensively, they only had 3 receivers active for Sunday night's game. Those 3 receivers, hold on to whatever you have, were Cordell Patterson, Philip Dorsett, and Chris Hogan. Yes, I said that right. 3 receivers were active. There's a reason why they went out and got Josh Gordon, because that offense has nothing. Nothing. 0. In terms of playmaking ability. And that's why the Lions were really just, all they did was just, hey, man, put 2 people on Gronk the entire game. Doesn't matter what down it is. And they were able to do that. They just don't have anybody on the outside. Last year, when you have Brandon Cooks and Julian Edelman, well, Julian Edelman, they're obviously missing the season, but let's just say you have B. Cooks and Julian Edelman on that team with Gronk, right? It's 10 times harder to double-team Gronk, especially on third down when you have Julian Edelman on the team. Who's just a third-down machine, who's one of the best slot receivers I've ever seen. The man's a goon. So it's really hard. And obviously Danny Amendola, that's a lot to deal with as a defense. So, and you got TB12 in the taking the snaps. So it's just completely different when you have 3 receivers that activated, and those 3 receivers are Cordell Patterson, Philip Dorsett, and Chris Hogan. That's just ridiculous. So, yeah, defensively, we have to stop the run. Believe it or not, the Patriots do love to run the football. They run a ton of I formation. So that's something we're just going to have to, that's the first thing we have to stop. Secondly, you can say it, try to take Gronk out of the game. It's probably not going to happen. I would just say, listen, dude, forget Gronk. Just make sure everybody else is defended right. Obviously, Rob Gronkowski is going to get his. I don't care what. Unless they have 3 receivers activated and Josh Gordon's not playing. To really beat Tom Brady, you have to get pressure with your front 4. You cannot send extra people. As soon as you start doing that, it's over. The only time I've ever seen a team not get in a consistent pass rush and beat them was the Lions. I haven't seen him get beat like that in so long. It's been a very long time since I've seen that. Every other team that's beat him gets pressure with their front 4 and can guard with their back end. That's what the Jaguars did. That's what we're going to have to do. That's what we do when we beat him, is just get pressure with that front 4. And on a consistent basis. So that's how we beat him defensively. Offensively, you just got to beat the man in front of you. Brandon says, this question comes from Brandon. He asks, Brandon says, I'm literally losing my mind. I just said that like 3 times. He says, was Gates just playing it safe not playing Jones Sunday, or was his injury that severe he did not practice Thursday? As soon as I heard he was a game time decision, especially since Adam Gase has been here, usually that player doesn't play. I think he was just being cautious because he practiced the entire week, if I'm not mistaken. So, or he was just at least limited. So I think he's just being safe. J-Mac, I gotta look closer. I thought that was a Thomas the Train. I think that anyway. J-Mac says, if we beat the Patriots and T Hill has a good game, do you think all the haters will finally give him some credit? By the way, we gotta stop trying to give Ryan Tannehill, RT17, T Hill. Those are not the greatest nicknames in the world. We gotta figure out something else, guys. This is terrible. Will haters finally give him the credit he deserves, or give him some credit? Dude. He should already get the credit. I don't understand that, dude. Don't understand it. I don't know what else to say to that. I mean, he threw for 3 touchdowns, and yes, the other 2 touchdowns were him just flipping to his receiver on a trick play. But the other touchdown, but he made so many big plays in that game, not only with his arm but with his legs. I didn't even mention the play where he got us out of our own end zone on that rushing play. Obviously, he had a lot of clutch runs when he decided to run the football. And, you know, to me, because John Gruden was talking about that the entire week, he lulled the Raiders to sleep, in my opinion, just by throwing the football. I mean, he was very successful when he did. And sometimes you forget, well, he can run. People forget the man can run. That's what happens each and every single Sunday. They're just like, all right, you know, he pocket passer, pocket, and then when he needs to, and when it's there, he takes it. He just played really well, and he made a lot of big plays for that. And in my opinion, those throws that he made to make the game 14-7, or 14-17, I think those were the throws that were made on that drive, really got the juices flowing in the back of the game. If it wasn't for stupid penalties, his stats would look a whole lot better as well. He's a great I don't care. He's a really, really good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. I don't care anymore. I don't care what other people think. If he continues to play that way, and people continue to hate, those people, just stupid. Will Virgo says, now that's what I feel like to see. Tannehill using his killer instinct to come up big for the dub. I take back my valid criticism from last week. Okay, well, appreciate you. Gamerific said, who else wanted the Rams to lose so ESPN would be forced to talk about us? Corporate Gamer Incorporated said, this is his question. He said, thoughts on the Bills destroying the Vikings? Oh my god, that was the weirdest thing I've seen in some time. Dude, they literally the Vikings showed up to that game thinking, we got it. That's what happens, man. This is the National Football League, dude. Don't do that. If you want to be a good team, you got to show up with it every single week. First of all, I don't know why teams do that, because if I was playing football for a living, I would just be, dude, let's go, bro. I don't care what a record is, dude. Like, we're playing football for millions of dollars. Let's go. Like, I get it, they've been doing it their entire lives, and, you know, I guess, you know, I could see that happening. So, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it was a huge surprise. The Vikings, like I just said, they just showed up. That's all they did, was literally just show up. They scored 27 points in the first quarter, and I think that was the final score of the game, 27 to whatever the Vikings finished with. Colin Klein says, do you think Tannenbaum will do something stupid and give up a high draft capital for a defensive lineman? I don't know if that's like, you're making a joke because that's what he did for Robert Quinn, who has made a huge impact on this team so far, but I don't know what you're trying to say. I guess it's a joke. I don't mean to sound like a jerk. I don't know. That's not what I'm trying. If I'm answering it, I think you're joking, though. So, if I'm answering seriously, though, no, I don't think that. Maybe he will, because I don't know. I doubt it, though, because we have so many injuries. Skaggs Productions said, his question is, also, have you seen any of my highlight videos? A lot of people think I'm you because we have the same last name. Really? People think I'm you. I have not seen any of your highlight. Hopefully your highlight videos are done right. I hate highlight videos that are close-ups and weird NFL Films stuff with rap music behind it. That's not my kind of highlight, dude. I just like plays being played with the commentators in the background. That's it. That's how highlights should be. Unless I'm watching an NFL Films thing on a historic game, or it's, you know, that's the only time it's acceptable, dude. With other players commenting on the game. and reminiscing about it. That's the only time it's acceptable. Corporate Gamer Incorporated says, how has Bobby McCain been playing on the outside? Also, is it worth trading for Jordan Lewis from Dallas? No, I wouldn't say it's worth doing. And has Bobby McCain been playing, and how he's been playing pretty dang good, in my opinion. Pretty good, pretty dang good. And Torrey McTyer did a fantastic job on Sunday, dude. And guess what? That's coaching. That's coaching, dude. That's what Patriots players have done in the past. Somebody gets hurt, somebody steps up. That's coaching and good drafting, is what that means when Torrey, comes out there and plays like he did. Lou says, be honest, do you miss Jarvis or Sue? I forgot those guys were even alive because our offense is not predictable. Hang on a second, my thing messed up. It's not predictable, and you don't know who's going to get the ball. To be honest with you, if those players were on this team right now, it would be the same result. I really do feel like that. I get what you're saying because the other players behind him get more snaps, and I really don't care, dude. I don't even think about that. Even if we weren't doing well, I wouldn't even have thought about it like that. What happened with those guys happened. But I get, to answer your question best. Will says, do you think these injuries will derail the defense's progression this season? I hope not. I hope not. It's the best way I could. It's just basically wait and see, dude. Emmanuel asks, 2 games up on everyone in the division, yes or no? Do you see us winning the division? Dude, it's September, bro. We got a whole lot more football to play. And, I know some fans don't want to hear it, dude. But it's true. We have a lot more football to play. Our team looking real good. We have a very good football team. But we just got to consistently play at this level and continue to go, bro. Continue to go. If this is in December, my eyes will be popping. I could give you an answer to that. I just can't answer that question right now. Brandon says, Xavier is currently ranked 5th on Pro Football Focus's corners. Do you think it's too soon to rate him so high? No, because that's a analytical thing that is based off of merit. So no, I don't. I mean, the reason he's there is because of the numbers he's putting up. It's not like some idiot saying, yeah, this guy's top 5. That would be different. But no, this is a different ranking system. G. Delva 2003, he says, what is your opinion about these referees this season? Oh my god, dude. In the middle of the game, I was yelling, send this to the league office. Because, dude, that was borderline cheating. What they were doing to us. And I know everybody's freaking out about the Charles or Clay Matthews thing. And I have a lot to say about that. But, dude, we got to keep going. We got to keep going. Gamerific said, question says, if we win, because we have 57, I don't think we're going to get 57 questions in. Gamerific says, he says, if we win the Pans, how will that change any bandwagon fan opinion on us? 2,000 more subs. Don't care what bandwagon fans say. It's just my honest opinion. And if we win, dude, it's about time we won in Foxborough. We haven't won since 2008. Flipper13 says, I deleted my message because Tannehill has climbed up to number 16 in the QBR rankings, and as long as he can maintain top 50% of quarterbacks in the QBR ratings, that is all we need for him to be a winning team. Fins up. QBR, whatever. Don't care about QBR, dude. What I saw in the last 3 games, pretty dang good, and just keep it up. Tannehill is a very good, I don't know, you get my opinion on Tannehill. I love him to death. Will Virgo says, do you think X will lead the league in picks, or at least the team? Yeah, he definitely will finish. Maybe Mika comes in with some picks. It's about time he does, but and I'm not saying that like he's playing bad or anything, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe Mika does get some hands on some picks there. I don't know. By the way, the Flipper 13, I didn't mean to come at you like I'm like mad or anything. That's just that was just my opinion. But I get it. A lot of people like QBR and stuff like that. Douglas Ward said he asked his question. He asks, if and when we beat the Patriots next week, what excuses will ESPN and other parts of the national media have to discredit our victory? Quarterback and success. Gase is now 11-5 with RT17 as the starting quarterback. How about that? Yes, I know, right? Dude, I don't understand it, but I don't even want to try to because I don't care. So, moving on from that. The funny thing is I was watching NFL Network. Not on TV because nobody does that. It was on YouTube. But they were talking about why the Raiders have lost 3. It's like, dude, First of all, fine. If you want to talk about that, fine. But how about you talk about a team that's 3-0? A team that's actually really fun to watch, by the way. Super explosive, that makes big plays, and the quarterback's slinging it down the field to win games. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, man. I don't care, by the way. Could care less. As long as my team continues to win, I'm a happy man. Brandon says, do you think Balaj will be used against the Patriots? Probably not, but it's fine because Frank and Kenyon, we got Frank and Kenyon. Gamerific says, can you rate how Devontae Parker played 1 out of 10? For not playing, this being his first regular season game, he played very well. Him and Tannehill have really good chemistry, so it was nice to see that be displayed on Sunday. Aiden A says, will the offensive line be able to play well enough in the rest of the year without sitting? Name your keys to victory for the Patriots next week as well. Keys to victory is getting pressure with your front four, affecting the pocket with Tom Brady, and on offense, just beat the guy in front of you because it's a lot of man-to-man. Oh god, dude, I can't say your name, dude. Isaiah maybe? Or Zay? I don't know. So what are your thoughts on the roughing the passer rules and how they are affecting the game? Pundits are saying Hayes' injury can be contributed to trying to avoid landing on Carr after watching the play several times. I believe this is to be true. I don't really... My thoughts on the... Dude, I could talk about this for 10 minutes in depth. I think everybody's crying for no reason. I think this is just how football is going to be played from here on out, and I'm okay with that. There are different ways to sacking the quarterback. Clay Matthews, I think he's just playing how football used to be played, which is what it is. But people are like, well, how are you supposed to do it? Dude, all you have to do nowadays is literally pick someone off the ground, and they blow the whistle. That's how they have such a quick whistle now. It's harder to do that with Cam Newton because he can just push you off of him if you try to pick him up. But most of the quarterbacks in the National Football League, by the way, Alex Smith is a twig. Clay Matthews could have easily have just wrapped both of his hands around him and just hold him, and they would have blown the whistle. He doesn't have to come flying in like a dang missile, and just plastering him to the ground. I feel like that's probably the best. If people are like, how do you coach your guys? I think that's the best way, dude. It looks pretty terrible, but I mean, like I just said, the whistle is so quick nowadays, they would just blow it dead immediately. They did that to Marshawn Lynch a couple times on Sunday. I mean, we weren't able to tackle him at all. But, people complain, dude, football violence, too violent, too many injuries. Too many injuries. Well, there you go. They're trying to make football a safer sport. And that's what fans wanted. And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that, dude. I don't think it's hurting the game at all. I think pundits in the media are making it sound like that. And Clay Matthews is upset because there was a penalty against his team. I get it. But there are other ways to sack the quarterback nowadays. And there are, and like I just described to you guys, you can literally just do that and they'll blow the whistle. You don't have to you can come in like a dang heat missile and just pick them up off the ground. Not in a violent way, because they'll probably call that unnecessary roughness if you just throw them down. But just pick them up, dude. Wrap them up. And what I mean by that, hug him, give him a big old bear hug, whistle blown. Next question comes in and I could go in depth more into that, but I'm trying to hurry up. Brandon says, Xavier did a great job today. What do you think will be a good compliment to him in our secondary? Torrey looked really good. Bobby has continued to look good. Lou says, do you think the refs were making the right call? No. Those were terrible calls, dude. Those were what the heck were they looking at on both of those? Those were such bad calls. Like I said, it was borderline cheating. Lou says, do you really believe on the Dolphins, or is this just like the 2013 season when we finished the season 8-8? Dude, we talked about it. Big differences between the two teams. Skaggs Production says, what are your way too early predictions for who will make the Pro Bowl on our team this year? I can't really do that right now. Just off the top of my head, Tannehill, Kenny Stills, Xavier Howard, Minka Fitzpatrick. Let's see here. This comes from J.R. Shelton. He says, should Tannehill be put into conversion for comeback player of the year? 1,000%. Brandon says, sorry guys, got to end the podcast early again. I got to get through the news quicker so we can answer everybody's questions. But some of the guys we missed: Chris, Shannon, Will, Winley, excuse me, Julian, Jared, Bad Bandit, Shannon, Stavdog. Some of the people that we missed, I apologize, but I cannot wait to see you next week. We got the dub again. It feels really good. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.